We got some breaking news on a trade that I must admit I personally didn't really expect, because the Dallas Mavericks are officially parting ways with Kristaps Porzingis in a pretty strange trade, I must admit. Now, before we get to the content, I want to let you know that after this video, if you go to my Laced Up podcast, I'm going to be live with Mike Korzemba. We're going to be going over the trade deadline. Make sure you check it out. It's in the description down below. And if you could drop a like on this video, I have a feeling that it didn't really get pushed out through our notifications. That'd be greatly appreciated. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? If you recall, a couple years ago, many of us were saying that the Dallas Mavericks absolutely stole Kristaps Porzingis from the New York Knicks, and we were excited about the pairing of Kristaps Porzingis with Luka Doncic. Unfortunately, it hasn't really yielded the results that we've been hoping for. Last year especially, it seemed to be a fairly low point for Kristaps Porzingis' career, and my original proposition to solve this issue was just get Luka and Porzingis a third star. Maybe Kristaps was meant to be the Kevin Love of the team, not necessarily a player that you could win a championship with another star like Luka, but maybe if you were to add an additional star to take some of the pressure off of him, you'd see some good results. Unfortunately, Kristaps Porzingis took a huge step back this year, because last year he shot 38% from three. This year he's shooting 28% from three. As a result, earlier today he was involved in some trade rumors that suggested that he could potentially get traded to the Toronto Raptors for Goran Dragic, but according to Adrian Wojnarowski, something completely different is about to go down. Now, the Washington Wizards are wheeling and dealing today, man, because before the major trade that went down, Washington finalized a deal sending Montrezl Harrell to the Charlotte Hornets. They were able to also trade Aaron Holiday to the Phoenix Suns. And according to Adrian Wojnarowski, Charlotte only had to give up Vernon Carey and Ish Smith for Montrezl Harrell. Afterwards, the Dallas Mavericks officially traded Kristaps Porzingis to the Washington Wizards for a package centered on Spencer Dinwiddie, sources tell ESPN. Now, we finally got some more additional info on this situation, where the Washington Wizards will also send Davis Bertans in this deal as well. The Mavericks will send a second-round pick to the Washington Wizards. So, what is this trade all about? Well, according to Jake Fisher, he kind of gives us a lowdown to the motivation for the Dallas Mavericks the whole day. The Dallas Mavericks had been actively exploring trades to move both Tim Hardaway Jr. and Kristaps Porzingis' contracts. Apologies to those who don't believe reporting deal frameworks provides future context, but fans deserve to know other options that were on the table. So what he's trying to say is, and at least what my assumption is this past offseason, the Dallas Mavericks completely cleaned house. There's a brand new front office, there's a brand new head coach, there's a brand new GM, and usually when a brand new GM comes in, the very first thing they like to do is they like to blow the roster up if the roster isn't necessarily working out to their expectations. And in this instance, it seems like the Dallas Mavericks, who, by the way, when you have a star like Luka Doncic on your team, it seems like the Dallas Mavericks are, first of all, in the top 5 of the Western Conference, and they're also on a 3-game winning streak, but they're in that purgatory-like area. You know, they aren't necessarily in the tier of teams that the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors are, and this is probably the most wide open the Western Conference has been in some time. Now, the issue with this is you're pretty much removing Kristaps Porzingis, trading him, who is having a down year as well. Bear in mind, shooting 28% from three as a stretch four is absolutely unforgivable in my opinion, but you're taking Kristaps Porzingis, you're getting a little bit less talent, but you're also splitting his contract in half. Davis Bertans is probably going to be very difficult to move anytime soon, and his contract doesn't expire until the 2025 offseason. That's terrifying, because if you look at his contract fact, this man is making $16 million a year annually and is only averaging about 6 points per game this year, which is absolutely terrifying. Spencer Dinwiddie also partially tore his ACL. My understanding is this man is still trying to get things back together, is still trying to get into the groove and the swing of things. He signed a 3-year, $54 million contract this past offseason. He's not going to become an unrestricted free agent until 2024. He's a little bit more movable than any other piece, and I'm actually confident that he will be able to figure it out as time goes on. He just needs more reps, and he wasn't necessarily really liked in the Washington Wizards locker room, but this is without a doubt an upgrade in situation for Spencer Dinwiddie. Now, ultimately, the goal here was to probably move on from Kristaps Porzingis' contract, but I don't know how good the Dallas Mavericks get in the now as a result of this trade. Needless to say, it's a very interesting trade at that. I actually had a lot of difficulty seeing the logic in this trade, and honestly, this is the only thing I was able to deduce from this entire trade going down, because it's not necessarily a salary dump, rather it's halving a player's salary and getting 2 lesser players in return for him. None of the players are necessarily players that could put you over the hump and help you get to that next level that you need to be in order to compete with the likes of the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors. If anything, this trade in the now makes the Dallas Mavericks a little worse, but I feel like this is a trade that's more focused on the long term. They just signed Luka Doncic to a supermax contract. I'm assuming they want to be in a situation down the line where they could clear up all of their cap issues and become major players in a specific NBA free agency class. Other than that, man, I asked you guys on Twitter if you could make this make sense for me, and I don't think any of you guys were able to do it. I mean, aside from hoping that Spencer Dinwiddie can return to 2019 to 2020 Spencer Dinwiddie form, then I don't see a conceivable way that this trade gets the Dallas Mavericks from that potential 4th or 5th seed in the Western Conference up into the top 2 seeds, which I believe they have the potential to do so in the future. But it seems like, at least for this year, once again, my prediction is they may fall short of their expectations. But that's my take on the matter, man. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about this trade. And also, we are live on the Laced Up Podcast's YouTube channel right now. If you want to come by and vibe with myself and Mike Korzemba, ask us questions and watch us break down the trade deadline, then come on through. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.